leaders of Mexico's most violent and powerful drug cartel, they are now in U.S. custody. The pair, which includes the son of former drug kingpin El Chapo, were arrested in Texas after evading authorities for decades. How did this all come to be? Matt Finn, live in Los Angeles, with the details. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Dana. The United States calls this arrest an enormous blow to the Sinaloa cartel, and it played out like a scene from a movie. Sources tell Fox the son of the infamous cartel leader El Chapo tricked the other powerful cartel boss El Mayo into getting on a plane headed for Texas, where they were both arrested. The two men, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, who is El Chapo's son, and Ismael Zambada, who goes by El Mayo, were taken into custody yesterday. Law enforcement sources say El Chapo's son told El Mayo they were headed south to see some property in Mexico, but instead, the private plane flew north and landed in El Paso, Texas. Sources say El Chapo's son turned on El Mayo because he blamed El Mayo for his father's historic capture. Now, the U.S. was offering a $15 million reward to track down El Mayo, considered a top leader of the Sinaloa cartel. Joaquin Guzman and his brothers took control of the Sinaloa cartel after El Chapo was extradited here to the United States. The U.S. says the Sinaloa cartel is one of the most powerful and ruthless crime organizations, which has dominated drug trade here in the U.S., including the recent fentanyl deaths. Here's Attorney General Merrick Garland announcing the arrests.
Fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat our country has ever faced. The Justice Department will not rest until every single cartel leader, member, and associate responsible for poisoning our communities is held accountable.
The FBI says these two cartel bosses have eluded law enforcement for decades and personally oversaw the trafficking of tens of thousands of pounds of drugs into our country and are responsible for all of the related violence. Dana.
What is up, YouTube? It's Coffee. Back at it, man. Breaking news. The cartel takes a big hit. That's like confusing to me a bit, though. Comment, man, all y'all out there that follow this kind of news. El Chapo's son reportedly turned on El Mayo and set him up. Told him they were going to go look at some property. Yeah, let's go check this property out in Mexico. Next thing they know, they're landing in El Paso, Texas, and the authorities are snatching them up. That's crazy, man. Guess dude didn't have a compass on him, or I don't know. Comment when you're driving or whatever. I don't know if I'm going north, south, east, or west unless the device tells me so. You know what I mean? If I got stranded, I'd be flunked or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Sounds like he's snitching, or must be, right? You know, because you heard a $15 million reward or whatever. I don't know if he'll receive that or not, but what good would it do if he's in custody as well? You know, you can't spend the 15 M's if you're behind bars, and I know they said he was wanted as well. I'm gonna have another clip at the end where they're talking about, you know, just some more info pertaining to this, but basically how when El Chapo went down, his 4 sons took over the family business, and I believe this is one of those sons, so he must have struck some kind of deal with authorities. I don't know. It's like something truly out of a movie like they were talking about. You guys ever peep that in Narcos or in those different movies, right? It's like U.S. Like almost seemingly cuts deals at times with cartels to overthrow another cartel, or they try to have someone on the inside who's forming, giving up info. It's all pretty crazy, man. Like out of Ozark as well. You guys remember in Ozark? If you guys watched that, comment and let me know if you were a fan of that show. That was a dope ass show. But I don't know if you remember the whole storyline. There was a cartel war going on, and the Marty Bird dude was trying to keep his family safe and alive, strike whatever deals he had to do to get the casino open for the cartel. But at the end of the day, he wanted to get up out of that life. And, you know, the one dude from the cartel was trying to strike a deal with the feds or the U.S. government or whatever, cut down a sentence and have his freedom. It's all really crazy if you think about it, that these individuals, you know, are responsible for trafficking drugs in and out of the country and, you know, get away with it for years. with all the power, but will be wanted for crimes on U.S. soil. But with all the power and technology that the authorities have, it's like they're not always able to catch them, or they only try to apprehend them at certain times. Like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where there's so much more seemingly going on beyond the surface that the everyday individual like me or you, will never truly know. But what I want to know is, if you guys think, you see they're talking about the Fenty Wap, which we know has been killing everybody for many, many years, man. The opiate situation in this country, more people than not are familiar with it. Either you were hooked yourself, or you got a friend or family member, you know what I'm saying? That was like a whole play agenda, seemingly, the way that went all down with, stuff being overprescribed in this country, and then things going away and people turning over to the smack juice. And then next thing you know, the smack juice is not smack juice no more. It's Fenty Wap. And now there's this trank-ish. It's just like an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? It's like billion-dollar business when you look at it. People making money on the streets, people being put in prisons being run, all the money that's in that industry, rehabs, counseling, you know what I mean? It's stimulates the economy, I guess. But at a certain point, it just went all bad, and the Fenty Waps everywhere, killing everyone, and number one killer for people 18 to 45. That's pretty insane, man, if that is truly accurate. I'm a bit leery of statistics pretty often, man. They say numbers don't lie, but people that making the numbers can lie their ass off. But what I'm getting at now is, like, will we see Fenty Wap drop off? Will we see it not around like that anymore? Or will someone else just pick up operations for the cartel, and they won't miss a beat, and things will be like they already were, and at the end of the day, like, no change? I don't know, It's all really crazy when you think about it all. But I don't know, I got one more clip, so stay tuned. Coming right up now. Let's talk about it all in the comments. It's pretty crazy news, though, pretty interesting. Someone break this all down for me. Someone with a better understanding. Subscribe. Stay tuned for more. As Coffee signing out. Peace.
Mexican drug trafficker Joaquin Guzman Lopez, son of the incarcerated kingpin known as El Chapo, is in U.S. custody. 2 U.S. officials told Reuters he was arrested along with El Chapo's former partner, Mexican drug lord Ishmael Zambada, known as El Mayo. They said the pair were detained after landing in a private plane on Thursday in El Paso, Texas. It's a major coup for U.S. authorities. Both are major figures in the Sinaloa cartel, one of Mexico's most powerful criminal organizations. The U.S. Justice Department said in a statement that both Zambada and Guzman Lopez face multiple charges, quote, for heading the cartel's criminal operations, including its deadly fentanyl manufacturing and trafficking networks. Zambada is one of the most consequential traffickers in Mexico's history and co-founded the cartel with El Chapo, who was extradited to the United States in 2017 and is serving a life sentence in a maximum security prison. After El Chapo's extradition, his criminal empire was inherited by his 4 sons, known as Los Chapitos, or Little Chapos, who took over his faction of the cartel and became some of the biggest exporters of fentanyl to the United States. U.S. federal prosecutors in February charged Zambada with conspiracy to manufacture and distribute fentanyl, which the Drug Enforcement Administration says is the leading cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45.